Hey guys, Coach Tim, and we're talking about AI today, specifically generative text. This is what most of the lay people that are not in the geek world have learned about AI. And that's essentially because of the incredible progress of ChatGPT at OpenAI. And you could join it if you haven't. It's free for 3.5. It's fun to play with, and there's a lot of other ones now that are pretty good. Claude, Poe is kind of a aggregation of being able to use a bunch of them. Now this is different than, say, the graphics, which can generate graphics based on your what we call prompts. And so where I'm going with this is that what I've thought about knowledge and wisdom, ChatGPT and the others have made it so that I'm much more inquisitive about what is knowledge. What is intelligence? You know, it's made me go meta, thinking about thinking. Have you ever done that? Go down that rabbit hole? But seriously, here's the limitations of ChatGPT. You ask it, what is its knowledge base? It goes back to 2021, and it has an undisclosed license with sources that is its knowledge base. And a lot of times that's fine. That's enough, right? That's all we need. You can put together a pretty good piece of information and go from there. So I was in a consult the other day with a client, and he defaulted to what most clients default to, right? The belief that prettier is better. As far as a website, it must be my website. It's just not pretty enough. I got news for you. I've made a lot of money on some of the ugliest sites that you can ever imagine, and copywriters know this better than anybody because their websites that they make thousands and thousands of dollars on, tens of thousands, are based on their words, right? Well, guess what ChatGPT is in generative text? It produces words. So why don't we use it for a little help if we're not quite the copywriter type? So I said, you know what you need more than a pretty website? You need an offer. There is no reason why I need to use your service. Because you're vanilla. You're just going to try. Real estate's famous for this, but I mean, the cosmetic industry, wow. These guys think they're on a race course, and it's a residential area. Not pretty is nice, right? But it doesn't sell anybody. Because pretty is easily duplicated. Pretty is easily duplicated. So pretty soon you have a bunch of pretty sites. So what's the difference that makes the difference? What's your hook? It's your USP, right? You can use that. Good old marketing 101. Learned that back in college, I think. So what makes you so different? Demonstrate and say why you're so different and why that matters to the person taking the 2 or 3 seconds to look at your site and see that it's like every other site and move on. Right? I know that hurts, but it is what it is. And if you don't have an offer, then you're playing in the same mud as everybody else, and that same mud starts costing. So all this noise that's going on about AI and everything, even in that arena, a lot of it is just vanilla. It's commoditization, more of the same. Hey, guess what? I can make you write a real cool SEO article with my new SEO article AI maker, right? And my question is, well, why don't I just go to ChatGPT or to Bard or to Claude, right? So it's not, so what they're really selling, the real difference, unless they add on like stuff like keyword research and, you know, stuff like that, that kind of fills in the blanks. But the real trick, if it's a trick, is knowing how to prompt. And all prompting is knowing how to know what you want. And within that is usually a set of internal questions or a set of questions you just ask directly. Most people don't do it that way. They give a set of instructions and we try to mimic that. But to understand what those set of instructions are, you got to kind of know how to ask a good question, right? So that you have a prompt. What would be a good question to ask ChatGPT that would give me X, Y, and Z as an answer? And then you're going to have to chunk up or you're going to have to chunk down depending on how good of a response you got, because it's not an exact science. So, I mean, I heard of people writing, freaking dissertations as prompts, right? 1,000 words, 3,000 words, 4,000 words, 5,000 words, you know, and most of us are writing in, write me an article about dental implants, right? And no, not if you want to get what you want to get out of it. So what we need to do is get better at questions. And really, I find that most people, self-included, are not great at questions. And part of my walking, I've said it in the past step walks, is that I do, it's meditative. And really, I'm not like going, oh, you know, that kind of meditation. I'm just doing a series of questions. And I'm making my questions better every single day. And the problem, I think, with questions, when you start asking yourself of questions, and usually my questions are, they're either questions that will lead me to a state or a feeling, right? A lot of times it's just gratitude, which is kind of ubiquitous, covers everything. But a lot of times the questions also are on like goals, outcomes. And you find that the questions we ask are not audacious enough. You're not asking big enough. You're not asking for the world. If you're not willing to ask for the world, you're not willing to ask for the smaller stuff or the steps to get to the world. What are the steps that I need to do, ChatGPT, to get to world domination? Or a loving, peaceful world. How about that? Right? So think about that. Think about better questions. I'm going to get into that in time and some of the stuff that I do specifically. But hopefully this will help you on your GPT challenge and also help you get to a point where you're able to do prompting and use these things because they're coming. Like it or not, they're going to be part of your life. Peace.